What's up, y'all? This is your boy. This is your boy DC Black, along with my friends,
You may Sora.
And Crash.
and welcome to another Save Point podcast.
Bells and whistles. Woo!
Hey. So first on the agenda, we're talking about Final Fantasy 15 Comrades, which actually came out today.
Which is
November
15th.
Is that the DLC about y'all fishing?
Oh boy.
I already see what type of podcast this is about to
be. First of all, that's the VR, all right? that's the VR exclusive, all right? I'm going to need you to chill.
What you need the season pass for.
Fishing. I'm about to say, if that's y'all DLC, that sucks.
I'm just saying, $500 just to fish in VR is just not, it's not cutting it for me. But
I was gonna say, I thought Marvel vs. Capcom DLC was trash.
I mean, it is, but all right. So yeah, Final Fantasy 15 Comrades finally officially came out today after going through beta about a month or so ago, which in the beta was okay, I guess, but there was a lot of problems with it as far as like connectivity issues connected to actual players, AI not doing specific things. There was just a multitude of different problems going on with that. But they've officially released the game as a whole. I looked at a little bit of the gameplay, and I'll admit, it's gonna be something I'll pick up just for fun. I'm not honestly expecting anything great out of it, but it definitely would be something, kick back, play with some friends, laugh, joke, hunt some stuff, and it seems like it'll at least be the better part of a month.
Right. So. Yeah. Same here. When I first saw it, obviously the first thing we both saw when they did the beta was the character creation. We was like, yo, that character creation is actually very dope. And then it led into the gameplay, and it was bug central. People couldn't play, people couldn't find their friends, and obviously they kept using the excuse, well, it's the beta, and true enough, it is the beta. And it was supposed to come out late October, but then they pushed it back again, and it came out today, November 15th. So after seeing a little bit of it, it seemed like they improved a little bit on the customization. It looks crisp, it looks clean. The fight mechanics look way cleaner than what it was. Is it the best? I mean, the only way I'll know is once I actually sit down and actually start fighting and experiencing the battle system a little bit. Basically, the route they decided to go with Comrades was that it is the Crash. You didn't finish 15, did you?
I did not actually finish 15. I stopped because I'm gonna explain exactly what happened with 15, right? 15 led me into the open world trap where you play a game, you do a bunch of stuff in it to the point where you're completely satisfied with the amount of playing that you did, and then you sit down and you start going through the story, and it's 100% unengaging. And there's one other game that did the same thing to me, but not as bad. And that was Metal Gear Solid 5. One of those games, you get into the world, you love everything going into it, and then you start getting around to that actual story, and it's not pulling you in as hard as you thought. And it's sad because Metal Gear Solid is one of my favorite franchises of all time, and the story wasn't particularly bad. It's just they didn't do it as cinematic and as epic as they usually do. And it slowed me down from wanting to, move forward. Like, some of the tasks that they had you do just seemed like meaningless tasks that you just had to go and accomplish before they just unlock another video for you. It didn't seem like, oh, I'm heading towards a goal. And that's honestly what Final Fantasy 15 felt for me. It's like, oh yeah, all of these tasks that I can do. And then it's like, oh yeah, we're going to go through the story. and I'm getting around to the story, but it's just not feeling like it's measuring up to what I should be doing, especially for a Final Fantasy title. The gameplay was good. The concept was good. I can't knock any of it, but it just didn't draw me to finish it. And
I understand 100% of what you're saying. So yeah,
and I might finish it sometime in the future. Like I do see myself actually finishing that game at some point in time, but I feel like it's gonna be one of those days where I'm gonna have just some free time to sit down, play some games, and I'm literally just gonna like all day it just to get it out of the way. Like I don't see me going and doing anything particularly extra that I might get later in the game. It's gonna be straight to the end.
Yeah. So. Yeah, like I said, I hear what you're saying. Like, I mean, I kind of had the same, well, not the same effect because I went about it a different way. Like, because like you said, I jumped into the open world and was mesmerized by it. I platinum 15, so obviously I had a good time with it. So I mean, I literally had.
You know, that's how you said.
Wait, what did you say?
I said Chris. He put out there that he platinum 15. I said, you notice how he put that emphasis on platinum.
Yeah, he said, you know, I got that platinum trophy. Did you?
But no, what I'm saying is like that's how you can tell I legit had a lot of fun with that game. Like I haven't platinum a lot of games. Like so, you know, to see that I did that. Basically, what I'm saying is, in the open world, I did almost everything, and then went through the story, which was like you said, lackluster. But to carry on and to keep moving forward and keep spoilers to a minimum, basically, Comrades start off literally, I want to say between chapters 14 and 15, or yeah, I think it's between chapters 14, 15, or between chapters 13, 14, somewhere in there. That's where Comrades start off. Because you basically are found and you learn that there's like a lot of stuff going on in the world and you have to basically fix it while things are crumbling around you. And you are a Kingsglaive. I'm pretty sure you saw the movie, right,
oh,
Crash?
Yeah.
So you are a remaining Kingsglaive and you're set out on hunts to basically grab these crystals to basically power up where your setup is then, and it's you basically go from hub world to hub world, either by yourself or with your friends to carry out these tasks to keep the story moving forward. So, I'm definitely going to pick it up to try it out and see how I really feel about it, especially to see how I feel while playing it with my friends, and you know, also see where it goes from there. You know. So I think it was a good idea.
It seems like that's going to be pretty entertaining.
Yeah, you know, I feel like anything that you can jump in with friends and do like some pretty cool stuff is usually sometimes worth the, you know, getting into. So, you know, we'll see where that heads. Anything else you would like to say on Comrades as far as what we've already went over, Crash?
We should stream it 100%. Like I can't see why we couldn't stream that, because that's totally one of those games I feel like it's going to be a lot of what the fuck moments from. So, you know. Also,
whether it's one of
I got a good one. I got a good one. What weapon do you plan on using?
Shuriken.
I'm definitely
right out the gate.
I'm definitely going for the spear life and maybe the dagger, but you know,
the inner dragoon in you.
Oh yeah, definitely. So
yeah, I'm doing Shuriken, and I'm probably gonna see what the katana's all about. I think you start out with a katana, so
do you?
I think you do.
Everybody's gonna have a freaking katana, yada yada.
Right, so that's why that's why the first thing I said was Shuriken. As soon as I saw it could be bought, I was like Shuriken. Okay. It's my favorite game it's my favorite weapon in the main game. So
okay. DC Black, is this any more questions you have, or
no? Like it seems like it's interesting, but to segue into that, we have an actual Final
DC, you kind of cut out there, buddy. Okay, to pick up where he was going from, to segue into the next section, we're going to talk about more Final Fantasy 15 stuff, but in a different game. Noctis has actually been named...
No,
I didn't even get to the actual reveal. Noctis from Final Fantasy 15 was just announced as DLC for Tekken 7.
Now, I got a question.
Now? Do I do it now?
Yeah.
All right.
How do you guys think, what type of character do you think he's going to be?
A Soul Calibur character?
Basically, yeah.
Now, when I was watching the trailer for him, I did like how his game style was with the teleporting. I thought that was pretty cool.
Okay, now there's one thing I want to address because as soon as this was announced, people just instantly went to bitch mode during the whole thing. Now,
true, yeah.
Let me address this one because this is something that I did not understand. You're getting a character in the game, right? And the character's not particularly forced on you, but there was a lot of people very, very upset that he was named as a guest character for the game, but I don't understand why. A lot of people were upset because it's like, oh, how do you put a character in a game that's weapon-based when there are already, of course, characters in the game that use weapons? Yoshimitsu and Master Raven are just two of them.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't understand why it's that big of a problem. Like, it's not like he's completely beating you out with his weapons. Looking at his gameplay, his combat seems pretty straightforward. The teleporting thing did seem a little bit like, oh yeah, but I guarantee you 100% that teleport is probably like the most unsafe thing you can do with him. I guarantee that's a free launcher. So it's like, I don't know. Looking at it, I see exactly how they're gonna balance him to make sense. And honestly, I welcome the character into the game. It changes up the characters from Tekken, which is one of the arguments that I hear a lot of people say. It's like, oh, there's only like 4 characters in Tekken because all of the characters play a certain way and it's juggles this and juggles that because they don't actually play Tekken. You know, those guys. But it's like, this is definitely another character for you to actually sit there and go ahead and add a 7th character to that number, because honestly, he is different from most of the, actually all of the other fighters in Tekken currently. Yeah, and honestly, you know, a lot of people were really, really sitting there trying to figure out, like, how does that even work? And once again, like I said before, you forget that the same company also made Soul Calibur. They know what they're doing. They really do know what they're doing when it comes to a weapon-based character.
Well, yeah, but I think there's a larger problem that's going on.
Okay.
And I think the problem is that people are really starting to get fed up with this DLC season pass deal. Well,
we'll talk about that in a later podcast because that's a whole different argument in itself. Because
but I know, which I agree, but you know, not to just to go into it, but I just wanted to, but I just think like that's where it's stemming from.
I don't think that's where that's stemming from. Because think about this one. Nobody was anywhere near upset at it when they announced Geese Howard. Because Geese Howard is also a fighting game character. Like, people were actually 100%. I'm sorry?
Where is he from?
Geese Howard is from the King of Fighters series.
Okay.
So, you know, you throw in another character from another fighting game, people were actually 100% okay with this. Which I was 100% okay with this too. Because I'm totally going to play with Geese Howard once he's actually released. Which they act like should be pretty soon. They were just waiting to, like, top a few loose ends, like, legal-wise or whatever. But once Final Fantasy came into play, especially since it's a popular Final Fantasy, and, you know, everybody, you know, who mentions anything about a popular Final Fantasy, you're also going to have, like, this truck of people who hate Final Fantasy or hate the game and instantly say the best Final Fantasy is Final Fantasy VI. Even though they probably never played it. But, beyond that, you know. Was that too much?
No, you hit it right on the nail, man. You hit it right on the nail.
My thing is, I welcome a character from a different franchise into it because that's the whole point of having a guest character in a game. Yeah, I'm still a little upset that we don't have any ideas about returning characters that could more than likely or should be in Tekken 7 right now. But Harada did explain that the guest characters will be in the DLC triangle, but if they release any character that has been in a Tekken game before that is a part of that franchise, they will not make you pay for it. Now, I'm hoping he keeps to that word. Because if he doesn't, then we're going to have a whole nother discussion about how this DLC shit is getting out of control. Because it's like, you can't tell people one thing and then just go back on it later. And if he said, hey, if they drop Julia, she's going to be free, I'm expecting Julia to be free if they ever drop her. Hopefully they do, because I really miss playing with her.
Right.
So, I don't know. That's my take on it, as far as like just lightly touching on that particular topic of DLC for this game. Now, we have a whole nother problem when it comes to talking about season passes and DLC in video games in general, which we'll actually get on a little later. But yeah, so Noctis, Tekken 7.
Hey man, I was ecstatic. I don't know. The fanboy in me was happy about it. I'm gonna play with him, so
I was happy, like I said, just because of some a difference in it.
I think if you were to try to, I don't know, maybe draw up an argument about Noctis being in Tekken 7, it might have been going down the route of maybe feeling like Square Enix is always trying to push down 15 down our throats with everything that they come up with. Like, I feel like that's something that might have been like, all right, I can feel you on that. But I don't know, to get upset because he's a weapon-based character is just ridiculous, you know, so...
Super
especially when you have weapon-based items in the game that you can use. So, whatever. But I'm definitely playing with Noctis, and I'm happy for it. And whatever, I'm ready. So,
well, I'll touch on every character. I'm probably not going to main him at all, but I will say I'm completely ready for the swarm of people who are going to end up touching Noctis and not know how to play, because I'm gonna beat you regardless. Not even one of those things where it's like, oh man, they're gonna be this strong, and this is, it's like, I'm not worried about his actual placing in tiers. I'm worried about too many people playing it to the point where I'm tired of beating. And that's not even trying to sound like super cocky about it, but it's like, you get characters that are in games that are too popular and you fight them too much to the point where it's like, even when you fight good ones, you fight the bad ones so often you know how to beat good players. Players that you probably naturally wouldn't beat, but because you know the freaking matchup way better than anybody else because everybody knows this matchup, yeah, it just kind of falls into the easy realm.
Yeah.
So, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to segue into the next topic since we're on the topic of, crazy DLC characters.
Yes.
Let's talk about Injustice 2's Fighter Pack 3.
Yes. So just to give a little recap here.
This dude, DC Black was so ready.
Hey, look. Let me tell you something.
I've never seen a man so ready for this conversation.
But I'm kind of nervous and excited about this Fighter Pack 3 for two reasons.
Okay.
So just to recap, the first DLC pack we got was Starfire, Red Hood, and what's his name?
Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
Best Fighter pack so far, in my opinion. Best Fighter pack so far.
Okay. Our second Fighter pack we got was Black Manta, which Black Manta is amazing. He should have been in the game day one. Raiden. And then we got the last one was Hellboy, which Hellboy just dropped. And I have a friend, I'm watching some gameplay with Hellboy now, and he's basically like your grapple character. And so that's kind of pretty interesting if you're into like grapple-based characters. But for our final fighter pack, we got the Atom, which was kind of crazy because they advertised the Atom without advertising Hellboy. And I kind of excuse me. I kind of understood because Legends of Tomorrow, they're the one of the Arrowverse shows was coming back. So they like, hey, let's just show people the Atom. But then they also had Enchantress. And I don't know if you guys have seen Enchantress, but she looked amazing. Like way better. What'd you say?
No. Go ahead, finish.
I was just gonna say she looks way better than she did in the movie. Like thousands of times better.
I agree.
And they got her, and I could tell they got her outfit from DC Rebirth because that's exactly how she looked in Rebirth.
I mean, to throw into that, I'm sorry, out of the characters that they showed out of that pack, even though you haven't finished this one, I'd say she's probably the one I'm most interested in actually using at some point in time. Whenever she drops, I guess I'll definitely try her out. Go ahead and finish, because you got a big reveal.
But last but certainly not least, in the trailer you watch, a lot of people speculated that the last person was going to be Constantine because of the cigarette that you see in the trailer. Some people thought Ra's al Ghul because of the collar, or even Rorschach from The Watchmen because it looks like he had a hat. But instead, coming down the alley was none other than Raphael, then Donatello, then Leonardo, then Michelangelo.
And just like that, you forgot about the other characters in the pack.
Exactly. You literally forgot about everybody in the game except the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It was almost like this was no longer a game about DC superheroes. It was just like, oh shoot, I'm gonna get to play with the Turtles.
Like, I legit forgot they announced Enchantress until you just said it, and I was like, oh yeah.
The key thing they say in the trailer though, Leo looks at Mikey and says, "No, we fight as a team." So you see all four of them jump up and attack at the same time. So I'm excited for two reasons. One, because we get Enchantress, and it seems like, and even though Raven is not in this game, I think she's honestly going to be a really interesting. She's going to be like Doctor Strange in Marvel. I feel like that's how. As far as with
Doctor Strange in Marvel, I mean, don't they technically already have? Never. Go ahead.
I will say, like, she will be on that level as where it comes into like set. Yeah. Well, I mean, they have Dr. Fate. I mean, they have Dr. Fate, but I don't think she's gonna play at like Dr. Fate when it comes down, even with her special and things like that. I don't think it's gonna be like Dr. Fate. But I'm kind of interested. Like my theory, and which goes into my second reason, is that you're gonna be able to be all four turtles at once. Which is a pretty interesting idea.
I think this is actually pretty normal of a concept, only because, I mean, if you think about how they did Mortal Kombat X, they kind of did something similar with the Cyborg character. The Link Triborg. Thank you. So yeah, you got to play with all the different types just by switching through the battle modes or the stances that the characters have. But in this game, of course, it's Injustice. They don't really have stances, but I think it's gonna play out similar.
You think this the special ability when you press circle or whatever you have it as, that you're going to
turtle.
Oh, that makes sense. Just like how with Wonder Woman, it gives you a random ability.
Mm-hmm.
You think it's going to give you a random turtle?
Yep.
Either that, or you send them out as an assist instead of just switching turtle completely. I can see that. Like a turtle will come in and do something specific and then leave back out.
I had even also thought like maybe they would split the health bar because they said they fight as one. So you have a health bar that's broken into sections, 4 different sections.
Mm-hmm. That
So
actually
your first
reminds me of what is that game called? Killer Instinct. They actually have like a robot character that does that. Like it has like life bar section that like you have to switch to like different modes. Otherwise, like one life bar will get too low and you can't use that fighting style anymore. I forgot the name of the character, but I'll look it up actually. But go ahead and finish.
But I was just thinking like that would be a perfect way because like Leo said in the trailer, we fight as one. So it would literally, even though you both have 2 health bars, but it's like you're fighting 4 different characters.
Yeah.
Right.
And each of their play styles are different. So I think that's going to be that's going to open up to like a very cool type of thing, especially since they're having like the Injustice 1-on-1 tournaments, which I just so happened to enter most recently, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah,
it was a pretty cool online tournament.
Tournaments get live.
They do.
You know, but yeah, like I have to say in general, I'm really not that I really wasn't that enthused with the DLC in general because I just feel like they could have done with better as far as with their choices. Like Red Hood, of course. Like they didn't put Red Hood in this game, people was gonna have problems. But I think we could have did without Sub-Zero and Raiden. Like 2 Mortal Kombat characters, I think that was a bit much.
I also think they could have just stuck with 1. I didn't think we needed to. Yeah.
To do 2, I think they could have took, and then like even to use that Raiden, to use Black Lightning as a skin for Raiden, I feel like that was still like
you might as well just gave us Black Lightning.
Exactly. That's what should have happened. You just give us Black Lightning and that be done with it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which is interesting because I don't know if you guys are aware, but they had Static Shock all ready to be on the game too.
Yeah. And they sure did.
And he just got dropped.
It's like of all the lightning-based characters you could have put in the game that wasn't freaking Mortal Kombat, you decided to just like scratch both of them. And it's like,
right. And it's not. Wait, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just about to say nobody asked for Raiden, man. Like, no.
Exactly. You gave everybody what they didn't want. Basically.
It's like if I wasn't playing as Raiden, I could go back and play Mortal Kombat X. That simple.
Right. And the thing is, he played just like he did on Mortal Kombat X, though.
I mean, like, I'm sure.
Like almost button for button. Which that's why I said like it's really strange. Hellboy, I mean, from what I'm seeing, Hellboy looks okay. Like he still looks like a really weird character. Like maybe because his body shape, but it's just weird. Like I just want to know like what was the choice? What made them pick the choices that they did?
I mean, I wanted to see Hellboy. I felt like Hellboy needed some, Hellboy hasn't really had any type of attention. Shoot, I can't even remember. He like people wanted him in Injustice 1, and he didn't get put in Injustice 1. So I feel like, putting him in Injustice 2 was good. I mean, I wanted to see him there. If I had it, I'd play with him. I actually might pick it up just because of the Ninja Turtles, though.
Yeah, like that's what I'm thinking. Like that's what I said. Like I think people that probably fell off this game saw that trailer and was like, "Yeah, I'm hopping right back on Justice."
Yeah, like Crash.
Right.
Oh, okay.
No, man, it's just like you and Deadpool, man. Like, play for a minute. Granted, not everybody in our circle has the game, so I can understand why you stopped playing. But then, soon as Red Hood came out, He was like, "Hold up, let me pull my seat back up and turn this game back on."
Yeah,
Right.
but then everybody wasn't playing, so I ultimately stopped playing. Like, and I made this very clear when it first came out. I was not really interested with any of the characters in the game. I kind of forced myself to try to play the Flash a little bit, which I didn't really care for him. I did like Captain Cold, but not enough to continuously play the game. I thoroughly enjoyed Red Hood. It was enough for me to completely play the game, but not as many people that I knew played it. I played online for a little bit, and I was just like, meh, after a minute. So, honestly, with Injustice 2, at this point, the only reason why I'm still keeping up with it is as far as, like, paying attention to what's going on in it, is simply because I did buy the Ultimate Edition, so I did need to know what other characters I was getting for the $100 that I spent for it. So,
Right.
you know, and it's like, oh, I'm gonna play with these characters at some point in time. They're gonna get played, but after that, like, if they're like, oh yeah, we got, you know, Fighter Pack 4, it better be like the most fire I've ever seen in character drops. Otherwise, I'm not touching it. I'm just saying it has to be good. Otherwise, I don't even want to touch it.
This dude said,
Hey man, it's gonna be Goku. I'm telling you.
Man, I would lose it.
Stop.
I would. And see, here's the thing. I wouldn't even really want to play with Goku. I would buy it just for the audacity that they pick Goku. It's like, you pick Goku?
No.
Okay.
The only thing that's gonna happen is you're gonna pick Goku, and then out of nowhere he gonna get bodied by Jiren.
They'd have to put Jiren in the game.
Just like how in Street Fighter, how you can have a character and then all of a sudden person get kicked out of nowhere by Akuma. That's exactly what happened to Goku with Jiren.
But
all you gonna see is big old fist just come on, and Goku is gonna be like, sit your butt down. And it's gonna be Jiren standing over his body, and you're gonna have to fight Jiren.
that's only if you collect 7 Dragon Balls and I don't know, rub Krillin's head, then you fight Jiren instead of Goku.
Bruh.
But moving on to our fourth and final hot topic. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Oh, God.
So, as you know, we already know who the 6 DLC characters are.
I don't know. Who are they?
The 6 DLC characters coming out from Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, some of them are already out, was the Monster Hunter, Sigma, Venom, the Winter Soldier,
yeah,
Black Widow, and who's the last character that I'm forgetting?
Did you say Black Panther?
Black Panther, yes. He's already out as well. So they have now they have Sigma, Black Panther, and the Monster Hunter out currently, right? So those are the 3 DLC characters that dropped recently. So we're just waiting on Winter Soldier, Black Widow, and Venom. We recently got a leak of what Venom may look like. And I will say, before I let DC Black go all in on this one real quick, I will say the look that they gave him matches the art style of the game. Take that however you will.
Backs into the shadows.
First off, I just want to know, I didn't believe that game developers could be this lazy, but I mean, okay. I guess I will be wrong, because that is single-handedly the laziest game design I've ever seen. It looked like my 5-year-old cousin designed it, and he just so happened to be smart enough to make a video game. Like, really, you did nothing to make Venom. You could have actually did some. You could have gave Venom his 2099 suit, and even that would have looked halfway decent. This looks like utter trash. Like, I'm sorry. Like, there's no reason why he looks like this.
I mean, I don't know why you're surprised though. To be honest, I mean the art style that they decided to take with the game period is trash. So obviously they had to make a trash skin to go with that character for their trash art design.
Well, he's not wrong.
I mean, like, I would have liked to think, like, okay, well, when they came out skins for Thor Ragnarok, and they actually look pretty good. They look really good. But
Thor Ragnarok actually looks like it would fit in with that art design.
Wow. This dude just spit all over the Thor Ragnarok movie. Like here.
I mean, hey, I still want to see it, but I'm just saying, man, like that art direction.
Like I don't know. I just feel like this is a lazy game. Like, if you were gonna put this little effort into this game, you shouldn't. I might as well should have kept this junk. Like, just lazy.
I mean, based off of what I've heard from Crash, they put their whole time and being into the battle system.
Which, see, that's the one thing I can say. The battle system isn't bad. A lot of people act like it's bad. It's not really that bad. It's actually pretty good. The problem is it's running into the same problem now. Finally, it took a minute. It took longer than I expected. But it's running into the same problem that all Marvel games have. Where it's like you get to this point where you find characters that kind of break the game. But I guess you would say kind of play the game, because it's like, for Marvel, it's not particularly broken. So you have characters that just lock someone down, and then you basically get free mix-ups out of it. Like, to the point where it's like, hey, I'm locked down in a situation, I can't move, and I'm instantly in a 50-50 every time. Mm-hmm. So it's like, you're battling anybody with Ultron, guarantee you're in an instant 50-50 once he sets up to lock you down with his super. So, you get into situations like that where you have to fight stuff like that. And it literally feels like Marvel all over again. And it feels like a new Marvel, but you're playing Marvel when it's like, well, I'm stuck in a situation where, like, I can literally be put in this situation over and over, and this person has about 3 chances to guess right with a 50-50, and I have to, like, literally eat it as soon as I get hit. So,
right. Yeah, I don't know. I personally haven't played the game yet, so I don't really have much input on that matter.
I mean, like, the crazy
watching it though, it looks good. I'm just, And
I mean, I have to agree with Crash. Like, I do like the battle system. It's just, I don't know. It's just like, to me, I would like to think like you should be able to have both. A good battle system with great looking characters. I mean, we've seen it before in multiple fighting games, but I just think like this was just like, you should, if you knew like the characters looked this bad, I think you should have pushed back the game.
Yeah, the world could have waited another year for Marvel.
Yeah, Capcom. I don't think anybody was dying. I don't think anybody was dying just to have Marvel in their hands.
I don't know. Tell it to Marvel players, and they were absolutely upset. They're like, "Oh, they're letting this game die. Nobody plays Marvel anymore because the game was trash." But okay. Let me. I'm biased. The game. I can't even officially say it wasn't trash. Okay. Let's go it a different way. The game was Marvel. I can't argue with that. And I will say, the last Marvel was actually, in my opinion, yeah, it was the best Marvel. Like, I liked it more than 2, and I liked it more than the original 1.
You said you liked it more than 2?
Yeah, I liked it more than 2. I didn't really care for 2. I'm sorry, I really didn't care for Marvel 2.
That's interesting.
I love Marvel 2.
I like CVS 2. That was like one of my favorite games ever. But Marvel 2? I like X-Men vs. Street Fighter, though. I love that game. Marvel 2? Not so much.
Huh. You learn something new.
Right. The more you know. Right?
But see, my thing is with Marvel, it finds ways to kill itself whenever possible, and it's at this point where like I enjoy playing the game as the gameplay is fun, but if I don't play it, I don't lose any wink of sleep over it. Like it's gotten to that point, and it sucks because like the way and we'll talk about this more later, and I'll re-bring this back up when the time is right. The way the game did the season passes and the characters are already ready. All of that stuff that they did with it really, really just didn't make me want to play it. Like, I really wanted to play with Black Panther and I really wanted to play with Sigma, but I did not buy the characters. Like, I could not actively bring myself to pay that much for a single character, and I actively couldn't put myself in the situation and want to pay for that season pass for a game that I'm not playing once January hits.
Yeah, once January hits.
Yeah.
So,
but I think that's the general consensus though. Like once January hits, Marvel's gonna see a massive drop off.
Oh yeah, because the superior tag game is gonna come out, and it's sad to say it the way that I'm saying it, but it's the appeal of Marvel isn't good. They put in bad characters. Marvel killed itself. Like, there's no better way to say it, that they killed themselves. Like, the battle system is actually really good. But it's like, why would I want to play this when this game over here, the battle system is a lot easier to understand and comprehend. It's extremely technical, and it looks freaking gorgeous. Like,
yeah, I agree.
Nothing makes me feel like you should be playing Marvel over Dragon Ball Z Fighterz.
Well, I mean,
not one thing.
Well, since we're at it, let's go ahead and address Dragon Ball FighterZ. Like,
actually,
copping it day one. Ain't nothing else to discuss.
Okay. Okay. I mean, we could go into Dragon Ball Z Fighterz, and actually, you know, we might as well go ahead and cover the other topics. I want to put them in a different podcast, but you know what? We might as well just roll with it and just roll straight through. Because, I mean, we're already on a roll anyway, right?
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So,
yeah.
Even though we're hopping over some of the stuff, we're going to go ahead and talk about Dragon Ball FighterZ because that transitioned way too well. So, that game looks freaking amazing. Like,
that game looks fucking phenomenal.
I was watching Maximilian play Dragon Ball FighterZ. I've never wanted to play with Cell so much in my life.
Okay, see.
So I'm gonna let you go in on this one. I'm gonna let him start this off.
Alright, man. So speaking of Maximilian, dude. Alright. Granted, I watched him cover Krillin because I really wanted to understand the Krillin because I may think about mating Krillin. So,
good choice.
But going back just a little bit, so while we were watching me and Crash was watching the Tekken War Tour, and freaking Sonic Fox was fighting Maximilian Dude, and Maximilian got fucking destroyed. So, you know, it makes me ponder all the videos he made and say, throw that shit in the trash, G. Because obviously he don't know this fucking game yet.
Like, okay. Just to not completely discredit Max. Max is a really good player. Like, yes. He is a good player. But when you saw him against Sonic Fox, you would have very much questioned how long had Max ever played this game. Like, you would have very much questioned it because it almost looked like it was like one of the worst ends. It was like watching James Ellsworth fight Braun Strowman. It was just like really, really bad. Like to the point where the squash match was real. It was real.
Man, look. All I know is like that I was like, I'm sorry.
Like, that ended so bad that when the game actually comes out, I'm gonna need Maximilian to fucking set up a video and be like, hey, Sonic Fox, now that I actually got this game and understand it, come at me.
Come
and I
catch
need to
this
see a
fade.
whole new rematch. I need to see a whole rematch. Cause dog.
But to be fair, the little mini tournament that they had at the Tekken World Tour, Sonic Fox won the whole thing practically for free because he did something very, very similar to Perfect Legend. Like Perfect Legend won his match pretty convincingly, and you watch it was like, oh yeah, this is really good. Then Sonic Fox and Max came on, and it's like, oh man, that was like a squash match. Then you seen him fight Perfect Legend, and you thought it was gonna be a lot closer until you realized that it wasn't. And once again, this is not to discredit Perfect Legend. I've actually played games with this guy, and he's actually destroyed me in a couple things before, but he did not look good fighting against Sonic Fox. Now, that kind of comes into play. Is it just because of Sonic Fox? Or did they really need that much time extra to play this game? Because watching Sonic Fox play just really, really set into everybody. Once you fight against
that man
someone,
use 16 and fucking 18 was masterful, bro. Like that shit was a work of art.
And that's what I'm saying. Like you watched it and you seen how good the gameplay was, and it put into perspective what this game is going to become after the game comes out, and it really, really, really put into perspective on as fun as this game looks. You have to remember, this is a legitimate fighting game. This isn't like Xenoverse. Yep. This isn't like any of the older Budokais. This is a legitimate fighting game. And getting destroyed is going to be one of the things that a lot of people are going to have to run into.
Getting destroyed is going to become a reality.
Yeah, they're going to have to understand it. They're going to have to respect it. And they're going to have to literally get good. Like, it put it into perspective.
You just got the...
I'm just saying, you watch every other Dragon Ball Z game, you don't really think of it as being competitive. And you see this, and you see the competitive play, and you're like, oh man, you're gonna have to step your game up, like, heavy when the game comes out. Like,
congratulations, you just played yourself.
And I'm stoked to see exactly the DLC lineup for this game.
Yeah. Well, honestly, so check this out. Honestly, okay. I'm excited about the DLC. Don't get me wrong, but I really want to know the story. Like Android 21, like Akira Toriyama literally designed a whole Android just for the game.
A whole Android.
And it's and supposedly is this Android's connect, and the Android's connected in the story mode to Android 16. So I'm kind of really interested to see, like, okay, where does this story go? Because based off the story trailer, like Goku didn't remember who he was, and there's
just to make everything sure that make sure everybody knows that the story for this is going to be non-canon, right? This is a non-canon story, right?
Yeah, it's like a what if non-canon story.
Yeah.
See, well, they included Android 21, but based off the game, I don't know if it's going to stay non-canonical.
It depends on how well she's received.
You know, like, and see, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just going to say, like, I could see if this goes well, that the next arc in Super maybe even include Android 21.
Okay, see, let me bring this into a better perspective. Currently, the character is not canon, but that doesn't mean the character can't be canon later. However, I highly doubt they're going to use the storyline, because the storyline is a little bit too convoluted for that to even make sense. Like a little bit too much. Especially because a lot of people are trying to figure out like where in the storyline, like in the timeline, this would even place. And it's like, well, it seemed to be placed like right after the Buu saga, but then it's like, wait, it might be like right before Super, and then it's like, but if they have Super Saiyan Blue, Goku, and Vegeta, it has to be like after like the revival of F, and it's like they can't even place it, especially with which characters are like being used in the situation. So right now, the story has literally pushed itself in this weird array where you really can't figure out where in the story it is right.
Mm-hmm.
Right, this is true. But I mean, it's the same thing with I will say even with they didn't necessarily make Xenoverse canon, but they took aspects from Xenoverse.
But see, here's the
With
thing with Xenoverse, as far as like being canon and non-canon. Xenoverse made itself canon by making itself non-canon. It literally made it so its own set-off universe that could potentially be true only because of how many different timelines they threw into Xenoverse. So it's like, yeah, this could be the legitimate Dragon Ball Z timeline that we all watch and we know. And this is the untouched timeline. And all of these things could still be happening based off of the way multiverse theory and all that junk works. But it's still not canon to the actual story. Like, the Supreme Kai of Time doesn't actually exist. But at the same time, it can exist because, I mean, from where she is, she doesn't break into the story at any point in time.
Mm-hmm.
right, I get you.
So yeah, it's definitely one of those weird spaces. She's not like, I'm just saying, like, Xenoverse isn't like Broly, because he's technically not even a thing. But in Xenoverse, he can be a thing. It makes sense because he can be in a different timeline. But in the main Dragon Ball Z continuity, there is no quote unquote legendary Super Saiyan. The closest thing we have to it right now is Kale.
Yep.
Right, and then they changed legendary. They changed the name of it to Berserker instead of Legendary Super Saiyan.
So Legendary Super Saiyan is 100% non-canon.
Yes. Yeah, it's one of those things where it gets kind of weird. Yeah. But yeah, like I'm really excited to play the story mode. Akira Toriyama, I was listening to an interview that he did about the game, and he really made it like that this story mode is gonna be really good. And I think like some of the writers from Dragon Ball Super helped out with the story for this. So I was just like, okay, well that could be promising. Because, so far some of the story, some of the arcs in Super are actually pretty decent.
Yeah.
So that was definitely promising. But yeah, these fighters though.
Yeah, it's a lot of material they can add in. So it's man, that's why I'm saying, like, I'm geeked for like what the DLC could be, and I really, really, really hope they don't let me down with characters I don't want to see. But
hey, your first DLC character gonna be Yamcha and Chaozu.
Dog. Well, oh my god.
They're not DLC characters. They're actual characters.
No, they're not.
No, I'm just kidding. But I'm just saying.
But
what if
that's what I like. And then on top of that, man, it's like Arc Systems is doing this, right? So like I'm gonna need some bomb ass colors. You know what I'm saying? I love seen. Right, which we've always Yellow Jacket Trunks.
Calling it. I'm sorry.
Yellow Jacket Trunks, freaking Black Cape Piccolo. Like, man, there's some bomb colors out there. All white Krillin. Like, come on, man. Now all you need to do is give me some outfits, and I'm in there. I like
even the black and gold Saiyan armor that Vegeta has. That junk looks sweet.
Yeah. So like I'm ready to accessorize. I'm saying, dog. All I'm saying is like they have so many options with clothing for. I'm not gonna say all characters, but most characters. So I'm ready to see like those options. I'm ready to see what my choices are. But yeah, man, and I need to see what Ginyu does. I need to see some more Ginyu because I'm still debating on if I want to.
Which if you can what?
I was just saying I just wanted to see if I can mess with Ginyu or not because I don't know yet. He kind of got that Ninja Turtle thing going on, so
yeah. Oh yeah, that's a perfect character to throw in about it because Ginyu is like a multi-character character. I mean, yeah, they have some that are like two characters, like 18 and 17, and Tien and Chaozu.
Right.
But it's like then you got the 5 character.
And I was gonna say too, like another thing that I think is going to play a part is this dude Android 16 is going to legitimately be a problem.
Oh yeah.
See, I've already saw that and I understand that to the point where I'm already watching gameplay enough to find out what counts. Like, I'm sorry, he's going to be a problem, and I don't want a problem.
He's like Kanji when Persona Arena first started.
Yeah,
when people really didn't know how to get around Kanji, but then all you had to realize was all you had to do is just fucking duck.
Well, not for everything he had, but for most.
But for most of his tools, you just had to fucking duck. Like that was, and then that just made Kanji drop. I mean, not saying Kanji was a bad character; he was still a good character. I enjoyed playing with Kanji, but yeah. But 16, on the other hand, those, oh my lord, the combos we seen, literally struck the fear in me.
Like all of it combo into the Hellstorm, and then literally this dude can explode, take out one team member of your whole squad, and literally have one hit point,
and just back out and get his health back.
Yep.
Like that's insane.
But that's very 16-ish. Like I can't be mad at that. Like that's true. Like that's true to his character. So like, hey man, shit, I bow down to that. That was good. That was good planning on putting that character together. So shoot, same thing with freaking 18 and 17. Like the whole little tag in attacks they have, and then the tag in super, and then if you have Krillin in the party, when you do the super, it switches 17 and Krillin so that she does it with Krillin. I thought that was fucking awesome.
Yeah,
that would be sweet.
So I just talking about it's got me super geeked again, and I still have like a whole other freaking 2 months to fucking go. I need a beta. I need something.
Well, they had the beta already.
Well,
I need something closer.
They're gonna come out with another beta in January.
Okay.
Closer to around when the game comes out to let people get a chance to play the game. So it's probably gonna be like the second week of January, I'm assuming. And that'll be like beta for anybody who already pre-ordered the game and such. So,
right.
So I guess be on the lookout for that, because that's gonna be probably the only beta you'll have until the game comes out, which is January 26th, 28th.
Yep.
Right.
But I mean, still staying on topic, but we're gonna basically do a transition from that to the next topic, which is gonna be season passes, loot crates, and all the money grabs that games are doing. First of all, I am actually pretty upset with Dragon Ball Fighterz right now, because they basically showed you, hey, yeah, get this basically legendary and ultimate editions of the game, but all it does is add a couple extra things, and you'd assume you get a season pass in the middle of all that. You don't.
Nope.
You literally have to buy the season pass separately, and the season pass is how much? Is it $30?
Yeah, I think it's around $30.
I think it's $30.
Y'all sure it's $30? Because I thought it was basically like the price of the freaking game.
No. It was like $30. Something is telling me though it may have been like $40. Let's see. Dragon Ball Fighterz Z season pass price. Yeah. So the season pass pro. Wait, no. Yeah, the collector's edition is $140, but yeah, for $8 extra. Yeah, it's actually $35.
Okay.
So $35 just to get 8 extra characters.
$35, man. I'm expecting fire.
And this doesn't include like outfits. It's just 8 playable characters And each fighter comes with a respective stamp, lobby avatars, and alternate colors. No different outfits, just colors and 8 characters. For $35.
Yeah. Which makes you mad because you know you gonna do it, but you know you ain't getting your money's worth.
Mm-hmm. And that's where this is starting to become an extreme problem, is because you have games that have a standard of just doing it nowadays. Like, honestly, I can't think of a game nowadays that doesn't have a season pass. Like, can you guys remember the last game that didn't have, like, some sort of season pass to it?
Nope.
Nah, like, I can't even. I'm trying to think. I'm trying hard.
Only one that's coming to mind right now, which you may would be able to tell me a little bit better, is, does South Park have a season pass?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, see? Can't even remember the last game that didn't have a season pass. And of course, they'll go into the idea of, the companies, is how they fund the game after the game comes out, yada, yada, yada. But then you run into the crapball companies like Capcom, who does this, have characters ready, have characters even on disc at points,
Right.
But you gotta pay to unlock them.
And it's not like, oh yeah, these characters were being worked on. No, it's literally, well, we could just hit the switch at any point in time. They're not working on anything at all. That was done. They just use it to gain extra money. And that's where stuff like that becomes a problem. And I feel like a lot of games are doing this nowadays, and they really shouldn't. Even Injustice, I feel like a lot of the characters that they had were characters that were done. They were just doing like final bits tweaking, which I feel like if they would have pushed the game back another 2 or 3 months, they would have been able to get probably every character and the first 2 season passes done and ready.
Mm-hmm.
But they wanted the extra money.
And like, here's the thing. Here's my problem with season passes. Even going like to piggyback off what you're saying, is that I feel like also the season passes are literally cost a lot more than they're worth. Like, Injustice is a perfect example. You spend $100 for this game, but the characters that you're getting is mediocre at best. You may get, of those 9 characters, you may get like 2 characters that are actually worth something.
Most of it is really just fan service.
Right, but my thing is like, it's not even good fan service though.
Yeah.
It's like, and then even going with, not Injustice, but Marvel, it's like Marvel's a really big disappointment because Marvel has technically all their characters game-wise. They just don't have it. They can't use their characters in some of their characters in like movies and stuff like that. But as far as with their video games, it's literally free reign. And they put the least favorite characters in Marvel vs. Capcom, because mind you, in the second season of the second set of DLC coming out, you're supposedly going to get Miss Marvel and freaking Star-Lord. Which I'm like, who wants Miss Marvel? Because mind you, the Miss Marvel they have on here, they're going to be putting on here, is she's an Inhuman that the only thing she can do is she has the ability to stretch, and that's it. And I'm like, if I want that, I want the whole Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
And Star-Lord, Star-Lord was in Guardians. He cool, but we have we have 2 Guardians of the Galaxy characters, 3 technically.
Gamora, Rocket, and who else?
Groot. Yeah. It's like we have 3 already. Like, give me freaking Gambit. Give me Cyclops. Give me freaking Phoenix back.
And once again, Marvel killed itself.
I just feel like, far as with this DLC situation, I think DLC is really starting to get out of hand, and I think people are really starting to notice that
like
DLC and season passes are becoming a problem.
Yeah.
Speaking on what you asked me, Crash, about South Park having freaking a season pass, why does South Park need a season pass? In my opinion, like I didn't think it needed one. Like the game is what it is. Like I don't feel as if it needed a season pass. Well, like what honestly could I? Unless you're giving me more story, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like, but even then, like I still don't need a. I don't need a season pass for South Park. Like South Park was exactly what it was. It was comedy. It was a good game. Like don't get me wrong, the game was really good and really well done. Like I loved it. You know what I'm saying? That's the second game I'm about to platinum. I'm like 3 trophies away from platinum in that game. So the game is really good and it's really fun. Like I had no problems with it, but I don't know. Like I got a frowny face as soon as I saw that they had DLC. So. Like not DLC, but a season pass. So I'm just like, are you guys just trying to jump on that train? So,
yep.
Because it really seems like y'all just trying to hop on the train.
And that's what every company is doing now. It's all season passes and all stuff like that. And then they all before season pass became a thing, it was the pre-order bonus thing, which they're still doing. But it's like you notice, like once something starts a trend, the other ones will follow. And then one of them will start pushing the envelope of the trend to the point where that's the norm. Because remember, season passes started off at about like $15.
Right.
Then they moved up to $20. Then they moved up to $24 or $25. And then they're starting to move into the realm of $30. And Dragon Ball Z is pushing the envelope at $35 for 8.
Yeah, like it's too much. And then it's like arguably somebody can say, well, I mean, if they was just a price, like say like they was pricing the characters at $5, I guess like if it's eight characters, I guess what you're saving like $5 or something like that. But it's like,
well, that depends on what the characters are priced at. Because see,
right, that's what I'm saying.
Characters are priced at before like. In older games like Street Fighter and older Injustice or Mortal Kombat games, stuff like that, characters were like $4. They were like $3.99 for this character. That wasn't so bad. Now, you know, it seems like it's about $5 per character, depending on
$5
the
or
game.
$6. Yeah.
And with 8 characters only showing up in Dragon Ball Z Fighterz at a $35 price tag, that's like what, $6 per character?
Here's my question. What happened to the good old days where you had to unlock a character by beating the game a certain amount of time?
Well, see, that
well, I can tell you where all this is coming. Like, you know, like,
I can tell you why that failed before we even get into that. I can tell you exactly why that failed, DC Black. That failed when the idea of having video game tournaments and stuff happened. Because you can't particularly have a video game tournament if you can't have characters unlocked.
Somebody would have to go through and unlock all the damn characters.
Which, that became a big problem because then, what if you wanted to throw a tournament? Now you have to make sure you unlocked all the characters. What if you're not good enough to unlock them, but you're the one hosting the tournament? Then you got to find people to unlock characters for you. Or you got to pay for someone to do it. And then it gets even worse when you add in how they're doing video games now, especially with the digital age and, you know, DRM and all of that stuff. Now you're running into the bigger problem. It's like, oh, wait. I unlocked this character, but it's not really unlocked because the game is acting like it's not here, which is also the problem with the games and season passes and such. But the problem occurs when you have to actually put in extra work. So it's like, if they did something like that, which still wouldn't make sense because you could easily just swap this out in a certain point, is they would have to build a code mode where you could type in like a tournament pass code and you could unlock all the characters instantly. Which, I mean, that would work, but then people would also be pissed because what if it's a particular character that they wanted to play with, but they can't unlock that character and they want to jump into a tournament? Now, of course, higher level players for tournaments would naturally be able to do this, depending on what the requirements are. But how do you get new players into something like that? You can't, and that's the whole thing that the fighting game community in general have been struggling with, is getting new blood into the community because, I mean, let's be honest, a lot of the ways that the old-fashioned fighting game community does pushes a lot of new players away. Now, of course, you can argue, yeah, you know, we don't want weak people over here to play these games, yada, 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 bullshit. But you also have to remember, this is how they make money. This is how they get people to come out and pay.
And that's
they
what
can't
I
really
was,
think that way.
That's what I was getting into, yeah. Like, this is the way for the developers, because, you know, they're not really they're not really making as much money as they should be making off of the games they put out just by us buying them.
Mm-hmm.
So, this is their way to come up with a way where they feel like they're getting their money's worth for the product that they put out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like on one hand you can't get too upset, but on the other hand you're upset because it's your money, and you feel like if you're going to spend all this money on something, you feel like it should be something that you feel is credible.
Yeah. But then it kind of comes down to that idea. It's like, if they have to do all this, do you feel like games are priced where it should be? Should games be more expensive? The games not be more expensive.
And that's why people really don't want to really get into that's why people don't really want to dive deep into that discussion, because depending on how it comes out, we may be paying more for games.
Yeah.
And nobody really wants to pay more for games.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. If a game came out at about $70, there was no season pass, but I got all the season pass stuff for free, I would take the 70 boot.
But here's the thing. Wouldn't the developers still lose out, though? Like, that $10 increase isn't really going to make up.
Think about it. Think about it. They
could have gotten.
They wouldn't. And this is simply why. Think about it. If they have, let's say, 300,000 people buying the game, right? But only 100,000 of those people are buying the DLC. In the long run, they'd probably end up making more money just out of people buying the game alone. The only way they would lose money is if people wise up, which most people aren't this smart, and that sounds terrible, but most people won't really think about it in this way. They wait for the game to just lower in price and just buy it then. A lot of people say, oh yeah, I'm just going to wait till the game to lower in price. Like, this is literally an argument I've heard so many people say about games like Street Fighter. Yeah, I'll wait till the last version comes out. Last version is out. Last version is like $10, $20. They either don't buy it or they buy it and then they get smashed out by everybody who's been playing the game for like 3-4 years. And they're like, oh, that game was stupid. I didn't like it anyway. Because they can't. It's too much to...
Well, because they couldn't adapt against the people that had the game when it first came out.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, like with Injustice is a perfect example of that. You wouldn't be paying $10 extra because that came with the season pass. And that was $100. So, I mean, I don't think anybody wants to pay, and I mean, I may be just speaking just for me, but I don't want to pay $100 just because I want because you said my favorite character is a DLC.
Yeah, but see, the difference between that and more or less what we were talking about in general is that was $100 because they added the whole season pass cost to it. The idea would be to make the games across the board, like, let's say $10 extra, versus trying to DLC nickel and dime the people who actually do play it. Because, see, in the long run right now, they're just getting the base 60 out of most of their consumers, and then they're basically milking anybody who wanted to keep into it. Which, I mean, I guess that works, but if you really are trying to make your money's worth in that situation, and you made the game $70 and you weren't really charging like arm, leg, and firstborn child for your DLC season passes, I don't know. I'm just saying, you'd probably end up with more overall profit because people will still buy games.
Yeah, I mean, I think either way people are going to buy, but I think I think, like you said, like we said at the beginning, it's really getting to a point where it's really harming where people saying, like, I don't want a season pass. Like, I don't want, all this extra content you giving me. I'll just stick with the game because it costs too much.
Yeah.
So basically, like, people, artists, and, graphic designers that worked really hard on this character, now, they now not making the money they should be making, because just like once they're done, it's like, okay, well, you done, you good.
Yeah, but see, here's where it becomes interesting, because see, you're saying they're not making the money that they should be making, and the idea that you're saying is as if they're actually working on these characters after the development was made, when in reality a lot of these characters are already made.
Already made.
That's where
already on the
where
disc.
it becomes very, very like what the heck? Because see, for Dragon Ball Z Fighters, they already know we got 8 characters coming. That means they're working on 8 characters right now. 8 characters that are probably already fully made, just not completely rigged or all the moves added, and they have to go through balancing phases. Which that extra $10 on every game purchase would pay for those people to get through stuff like that, depending on what it is. Now, where it becomes muddy is, let's say something goes wrong and they have to fix these problems. Now, naturally, since you know, it's a game that you were in, you kind of have to fix it, or you kind of don't and you let your game die.
Mm-hmm.
But the season pass doesn't particularly pay for situations like that. It can, but it's not supposed to be. Like, that extra money is literally mostly going to the developers,
like,
or not the developers,
really
but the companies who produces it.
People really haven't noticed how out of control it's gotten, and I feel like most people should, because like me, and this is just me, this is personally just me, that I know it's out of control when I know that when Kingdom Hearts 3 comes out, it's going to have a season pass.
Yeah.
I just know that. I just know it. That's how
bad
ridiculous
it is. It's so bad to the point where I feel like if you were to search the PlayStation or the Xbox store before you found the Kingdom Hearts 3 game, you'd be able to purchase the season pass now. That's how bad it's gotten. To the point where it's like, oh yeah, you could purchase the season pass before the game even comes out. Like, how does that even work? Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, honestly, and this is one of the things that upset me the most, is like, before Destiny 2 was officially announced, they had the season pass available. It wasn't purchasable, but it was available before the actual game was set up on the store.
And it's just like, so basically I got content with no game. All right.
You got content but no game. So it's like, you knew the DLC was coming. You already knew it, of course. Everybody knew it. But it's like, you already had the DLC ready on the store. Pretty much they just had to hit the price button and it's a go. The game wasn't even set to go yet. Then it's like, once the game came out, they put the price button. The game was supposedly on the store, but it still took a little bit of time before it fully loaded in, and now the game's there, and it's like, boom, now you have game to go with that DLC that we dropped already. It's really one of those things where it's like, it's a shame that you know that the DLC or the season pass is pretty much guaranteed before you even get the game. Now I'm waiting for the point where a game is gonna come out, it's gonna have a season pass, and something happens and the game gets canceled. How the fuck are you gonna pay back all those season passes?
You come out with a prequel to. You come out with a prequel towards said game that you can only get through the season pass. People buy the season pass, play that season pass sequel, and then the game gets canceled.
Hey man, that's what happened with Kingdom Hearts 2.8. That's DLC for 3.
Hey,
like, you laughing? That's exactly what it is. It's DLC for Kingdom Hearts 3.
$60 DLC for 3.
So
it was for 3. It was for 3, and it was for 3, 2, and possibly all 3 of those games. That was DLC for all 3 of those games.
So they were like, we're gonna give you DLCs for these other games, and we're also gonna give you DLC for this game that hasn't come out yet. Because it was totally using the battle system and stuff.
$60. That's what pissed me off. It was $60. Like, I was just like, I lost my mind. I was like, you're only playing 4 hours worth of content, and the rest was Dream Drop Distance, and you're going to charge me $60. $60.
Hey man,
for something DLC that I already fucking had on my 3D and a 4-hour story. Like, what? That's what killed me, dude. Man. Ooh.
So, hey, so real quick, before we, move, maybe before we look at some other topics, what would y'all say was the worst case of DLC-itis.
Oh,
In
the worst case?
Yeah.
The worst case? I'm even go with something recent. The worst case of DLC at this moment is Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Oh my God. Bruh. Why did you have to bring that game up? Okay.
Because it comes into the idea of the worst part of what season passes have created. It has created the loot box system where basically they can nickel and dime you into continuously paying for shit that you're not guaranteed to get. They place it at a low enough point so you're not thinking you're paying too much, but after paying like $2 here, $2 here, you look up and you've paid $40. And you also bought that season pass.
Shadows of War too.
Yep, and that would have been the next one after Battlefront.
So did you say Battlefront 1 or Battlefront 2?
2.
Oh, I might say Battlefront 2 is just. I thought you said Battlefront 1. I was about to say Battlefront 2 is just as bad, if not worse.
That's already been a big topic of discussion because of what they did about the unlocking special characters and how people figured out basically in order to unlock one of these special characters, you're pretty much gonna have to continuously play for about 40 hours just to unlock one. And it's like, I mean, I understand you want people to play this game, but do you really want people to play this game? Like, that's a big commitment, especially if you're trying to, and then after you get the character, this unlocks in the loot boxes items for the character. So you can't get items for the character before you get the character. You have to get the character, and then the items randomly drop.
Yeah.
And then it goes with an RNG system, so you never know if you really gonna get the equipment for the character that you want.
And see, if they would have done this like let's say Overwatch, because I say Overwatch probably has the best loot system out right now.
Mm-hmm.
Overwatch only gives you random stuff, and then the stuff that you've already have, they give you coins. And those coins, in-game coins, can be used to purchase things that you absolutely want. So you don't have to continue to loot through things to pray that you get what you want. You get something that's a duplicate, you get gold for it. You use that gold to buy what you want. But at the same time, you might get lucky and get something else that you want while building up to get that gold.
Yeah.
So it's like, it always feels like a reward. A win-win. And there's no reason in hell that every loot system should not work like that. The loot system shouldn't be there to slow you down. The loot system should be there to make you continue to play. And that's the problem. They feel like, oh, you'll continue to play if we slow you down. If we bottleneck you, you'll play. It's like, no, don't bottleneck people. If you're going to bottleneck people, you have to do it in a way where everything that's happening can happen with or without the money in about the same amount of time. Of course, the money is instant gratification, but I shouldn't be in a situation where I'm like, I want this, and you tell me you can't have this even after you spent $100 on this game.
Right.
And you only made about half as much for this one character. And you don't even give me an option to buy that character flat out. Like, that's absolutely unacceptable. And it sucks too, because I've heard that the game is actually, like, at least people playing the single player, they act like the game is actually amazing.
No, the game, I had the beta for it. The game is amazing. Like, it's beautiful. The multiplayer mode is amazing. But yeah, that whole loot crate system, that's some Call of Duty level type stuff. But with all this bad news, let's talk about some good news. We skipped over.
Wait. We skipped over one thing because you guys jumped straight into Dragon Ball Z Fighterz. We actually skipped over the Tekken World Tour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we completely skipped over that because Dragon Ball Z Fighterz is supposed to go after the World Tour. So just a quick run through, because unfortunately I know DC Black didn't see it, but I know Yume saw it. That was a great tournament. It was a great tournament. Like, if you're a Tekken player and you haven't been playing Tekken for a while and you watch that tournament, I guarantee you it revitalized your want to continue to play Tekken. Like, the players, the energy of the crowd, all of it, absolutely amazing. if you have time, I know it's on YouTube somewhere. Please go back. Go back and watch that tournament if you are anywhere enjoying fighting games in general or Tekken. It's worth the watch.
And you'd end up seeing Maximilian dude get smashed out in DBZ Fighterz.
Oh yeah, if you watch the total stream, you can watch that, or you can just watch that clip by itself. But
right,
I will
watch
say
that clip by itself. But
the Tekken World Tour was interesting, and it was only interesting because this is like the first tournament. Even I'll just say we're gonna cut out spoilers here. It was the first tournament where the winner or the top 8 was you couldn't really tell who was gonna win. Like they really pushed the envelope of, hey, this is anybody's game, and they definitely set it in. Like everything that happened in that tournament just put you on the edge of your seat. Like I don't know, I haven't seen a fighting game tournament where the results were that like you were just waiting to see who was gonna win. So absolute must watch. But since we already were going into it, I don't want to dwell on the Tekken World Tour too long since we already kind of passed that point. We're going to talk about Game of the Year candidates.
Yeah. So,
Game of the Year.
This is the time of year where we, go over, all the great games we've, encountered this year. So these are the people that are up for Game of the Year. Now, I've seen the game. I've played one of these games, seen the gameplay of the other one, kind of played it a little bit, but these other 3 I'm not really too familiar with. So for Game of the Year, we have the candidates. What's so funny?
Like part of your speech was just completely gone. Like I have no idea what you just said.
No, so one of the candidates is Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, Super Mario Odyssey, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, Persona 5, and Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, I have to be honest. I'm a little biased when it comes down to this category because of this category. I played Horizon, and Horizon is probably the most beautiful game I've seen this year.
That is exactly why we can tell your opinion is biased.
Yeah, 100% opinion is biased.
That's why I came out the gate and said it is. I'm
glad
biased.
You did.
Now, to be realistic about the Game of the Year here, is as great as Horizon Zero Dawn was. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Out of the rest of the lineup, this game has no chance to win. Like,
no,
not for Game of the Year.
No.
Right now, honestly, the only games I feel like that will the 2 that's going to be like, okay, which one? And I kind of already know which one it's going to be. Is Super Mario Odyssey and The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. Nintendo is literally competing with itself.
Yeah, I can see that because honestly, like what I've seen of like different commercials and trailers for Mario Odyssey, it looks legitimately really good.
Honestly,
and it is.
You can answer your question if you literally just go on YouTube and watch somebody play about like 20 to 30 minutes of it, and you'll be like, okay, I can see why it's up there. And if we were to give our opinions, the fanboy in me would want Breath of the Wild to win.
The fanboy in me would actually want Persona 5 to win.
I would. Yes. But if we was just choosing between the 2, Super Mario Odyssey and
Breath of the Wild,
Breath of the Wild, I would want Breath of the Wild to win. But I really see Mario Odyssey winning.
Yeah.
In the end.
The main reason why I agree with the Mario Odyssey to end up winning, when they first announced the game, everybody was so, hype about it, and I was just like, meh. I don't even want to touch this game. I wasn't. I literally was thumbing my nose at it. I wasn't really caring about it. Literally the day before it came out, when all the reviews dropped, I watched some, and as I'm watching the gameplay and listening, literally the reviews got me to say, you know what, screw it, I'll purchase it. Last
10
minute.
out of 10.
And I played it, and I was 100% satisfied with that purchase, to the point where I was like, man, I almost missed out on an amazing game.
And let me ask you this. Is it worth, if you're a person that doesn't have a Switch, is this worth buying a Switch?
By itself?
Yeah.
No. But I would say if you are a person interested in buying a Switch at all, you can't buy it without this game now. Like, there's no buying a Switch and not getting Mario Odyssey unless you played it before you got your Switch. Like, it's kind of like when the Switch first came out, there was no buying a Switch without getting Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Right.
And this is why these two games are in competition with themselves. Is because both games are what I call system sellers. Even though, I'm sorry, I can never think of a game where I'm like, man, I'm buying this whole system for this one game. I usually look for 3 games at least to buy a whole system for.
I'll be honest with you. Like, that's how I ended up getting a PSP, because Kingdom Hearts came out.
Sounds about right. They knew what they were doing.
See, and I'm sorry, I couldn't do that. But I'll put it this way. If I was wondering if I was going to get a Switch, and I saw Mario Odyssey and Legend of Zelda, those would be the 2 games I'd absolutely have to get for. Now, I bought a Switch early because I was like, meh, I kind of want the system in general. I wanted the system without really a lot of the games. So I got it. But if I was trying to convince myself to buy that system, these 2 games, and let's say, I don't know, something like a party game like Mario Kart or something, absolute sellers for the system. Like, don't even worry about anything else at first. Get those. You'll be happy with your choice. The games will give you just enough time to play the system to justify it, because Breath of the Wild is actually pretty long on its own, and it gives you that open world feel, while Super Mario also gives you that open world feel. It gives you the classic Mario feel, and the end game is absolutely large and amazing. Like, going through everything after you beat the game is still worthy of continuing to play the game.
So, can we say that you beat this game?
No, I haven't beat it myself, actually. I'm near the end, but I just haven't beaten it. And see, that's another reason why I can say this is a good game. I continuously go back to play this to beat it.
Okay. Well, no, I asked my original question because, like, I didn't think about getting a Nintendo Switch, but I was seeing things about Mario Odyssey, and I was like, wow, it's been the last time I played a Mario game,
Mario Sunshine,
for the system, was I was in middle school, and it was Sunshine.
Oh, then you'll love this game.
So that's why I was just like, should I maybe this Christmas, as a Christmas gift to myself, get me a Switch?
I would not tell you that was a bad idea. Like, if you literally said, hey, yeah, I'm buying a Switch just for Mario Odyssey, I look at you and I'd be like, okay. And that's not bad at all. I'm just saying, like, if someone told me they were buying it just for that, I would say, okay. I'd be okay with that choice mentally that you said that, but I would also ask you, are there other games that you want to play? Because then I would be like, do you really want to
I would definitely be interested once they announce another Smash Bros.
To point that out, since you just brought that up, they actually just Nintendo actually just recently updated an IP for Smash Bros, which most people are thinking they're going to bring it to Switch now.
Okay.
So, just so you know, that might be in
the
works.
Like that. And then, I heard Pokken Tournament DX was a really good game. And I know they're bringing that to the Switch. So, I heard this
did not sound amused.
Look, I tried it, and this is weird because as a Tekken player, I thought I was going to like it.
So I'm guessing it's not a good game.
I don't like it. I'm not gonna say it's not a good. I don't.
Okay.
Would I call it a system seller? No. Would it be an accessory to your system? Sure. Would I buy it? No.
Okay, but and then, well, it's stuff like that that's interesting because there's another category that's out. It's best game direction. So the nominees for that is Wolfenstein 2, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, yet again, our two headliners, Legends of Zelda Breath of the Wild and Super Mario Odyssey, as well as Horizon Zero Dawn. Now, when they talk about game direction, I'm assuming they're talking about the story, correct?
That would mostly be narrative, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
I think by game direction, I think it's like the let's say the controls and the direction that they took into building up the play style of the game.
Well, I was thinking more so like the narrative, like you said.
Well, they have a best narrative section, so you can't really say best game direction is a narrative. Now, what I'm assuming best game direction would be is like, how does this game play? How does this game play in relation to all its other aspects? The art style, the story, as a whole. Like, does this game fit what it was trying to portray?
Right. And I mean, if we're going to go off that, I mean, based off what you guys was telling me, I really don't see how Resident Evil 7 even is in this category. We were even made as a nominee.
I see why. I see exactly why it's in this category. Because
I can see why it's in there too.
Resident Evil has been mostly, at least the main titles have been mostly third you know what I'm trying to say, Crash. Third person horror shooters. So for them to actually just say, all right, we're going to try something new and try to incorporate more people into this franchise, let's do first person. And it fucking worked. It worked.
They even changed the formula the way they do it too.
Yeah. So I feel like it was a great idea. You know, it brought back the horror tension that most games lack now. You know what I'm saying? Because most of the times that third person, like over the shoulder type of deal when playing a horror game, you never get scared. You don't get that sense of it. It's not you. You know it's somebody else. So you're never really going to be too into the game to feel frightened, really. Now, when they did first person in 7, even though you knew you was playing as somebody else, that character had his own name, his own backstory, all of that. The fact of it being in first person, you still went through that game as if it was you. And it brought the scares closer. So
Crash and you do y'all really think that this will win? Because
I mean, it will win?
No.
Because based off
only because of what's in the category. Do I think it should be in the category? Yes. Do I think it's going to win over Horizon Zero Dawn? No. Mario Odyssey? No. Breath of the Wild? No. Not even Wolfenstein 2. Because apparently the story for that game is supposed to be like on some whole new level of, this is great. Like, if you love a shooter, you're okay with just playing a single player experience, absolutely Wolfenstein 2 is supposed to be like, you can't pass this game. Like, you'd be doing yourself an injustice to pass it up. So, in my opinion, it deserves to be in there, but it's pretty much at a far number 5.
Mm-hmm. So, who do you think will win? Who will take the? So, I'll get it from each of you.
My opinion would basically be biased because only for the simple fact that out of all the games here, I didn't play Wolfenstein 2. So I have no idea how that game was. So therefore, I can't really say who win. I would automatically right off the bat once again choose between Super Mario Odyssey and Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
Which one I would pick? I would probably say Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, only for the simple fact that it took a whole new take on Legend of Zelda. And
I agree.
And Super Mario Odyssey, even though it somewhat did that, it still revisited older games.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but the reason, before I say what I was going to say, Crash, what would you say is the taker of this category?
I agree with you, mate. It's gonna be Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. I'm feeling, because like we've already explained why Resident Evil 7 is gonna be it. Wolfenstein is as great as it is. It's not appealing to a big enough crowd, in my opinion. It's gonna like win like the award over if the game isn't focused on the crowd's natural direction, which would have been a shooter. Horizon Zero Dawn isn't gonna win simply because Zelda's in this mix. Because let's be honest, when Horizon Zero Dawn came out and Legend of Zelda came out, people forgot what Horizon Zero Dawn was.
Okay, that's not necessarily true. Like,
it's true for anybody who had a Switch
and
can play both.
But,
and that's not to discredit Horizon Zero Dawn, because it is an amazing game. Like, there's no
DC Black. You know I played Horizon, so you know I enjoyed the game. Did I beat it? No. Was I close to the end? Yes. But I did enjoy the game, but it was the fact that I played Breath of the Wild first that had me like, this game is great.
See,
but Breath of the Wild introduced so many things that could have been incorporated in this game.
Here's the thing why I just want to say I kind of don't know. I can't agree with you for the simple fact I had my hand on both too. And I had my hand on Horizon first before Zelda.
When did you play Zelda?
Still think Horizon?
Remember when you were working with me?
No. See, you touched it for about 10, 15 minutes. You didn't really sit down and play the game to understand what we mean about the game plays like I don't want to say better, but it's like all of the things that you wish you could do at Horizon Zero Dawn, Legend of Zelda has that.
Crash, but did you play Horizon?
I did play it. I didn't beat it.
I played a great chunk of that game, and like I said, I loved it.
He played a lot more than me.
To Breath of the Wild. I played a great chunk of Legend of Zelda. Did I beat Legend of Zelda? No. I was probably about maybe somewhere close to halfway, but I put a lot of hours into that game. I still think, in my opinion, it's better than Horizon because of the physics and everything that's in Breath of the Wild and the things that you can do in Breath of the Wild compared to Horizon seems like a soft core form of Breath of the Wild. That's exactly what it is.
And just to finish up on my statement, the reason why I don't think Mario Odyssey is going to get it is because as great and amazing as Mario Odyssey is, it's still the same game. It's a Mario game. Like there's still no disputing it's a Mario game. It's such a Mario game that it plays Mario inside of Mario, even though Mario wasn't supposed to be Mario, but it's Mario. Even when you're playing Donkey Kong, which was Mario. Like it's that much Mario. Like it's more Mario than you think Mario could be. It's everything Mario has ever been. And it even adopts a system that they use for Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds, where Mario legit goes 2D inside of walls to get from place to place, which they implemented in Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. Like it's such a Mario game that it adopts all of the other aspects of other games that were Nintendo based to make it Mario. Like, geez, it's such Mario, but it's so good. You have to play it.
But it's so good.
Well, I mean, if I was to have my pick, based off of what you told me of Mario Odyssey, I would probably pick that. just because of when I think about the, like I said, my point of reference as far as the Super Mario game was Sunshine. And Sunshine, I mean, it was a Mario game, but it kind of went to eventually start going to a place where Mario shouldn't go. You know, I don't know if you all remember Mario Sunshine,
Oh,
but
I
at a
do.
certain point, Mario Sunshine became aggravating.
Yeah.
Because not only was it trying to push to you this whole anti-pollution message, but it just got to become something it shouldn't be. So that's just kind of like where I'm kind of personally standing on that. And I mean, as much as I love Horizon Zero Dawn, I have to agree. I'm not sure Horizon will get this category. However, this next category I think is going to pretty much get, and that's best narrative. And the nominees of best narrative, you have What Remains of Edith Finch.
No idea.
You have Near Automata, Hellblade: Sensua's Sacrifice, Wolfenstein 2, and Horizon.
So I don't know, man. Horizon Zero Dawn had a great narrative. It's I don't know. It's Near Automata is where I'm like, I don't know, because a lot of people make that game sound like the narrative was overall the best.
Now,
I can't.
What is Automata?
Crash, you'd have to take this one.
Oop, I can't even take this. The
I
closest
can't even
thing I
take
can
it.
explain to you from what I know about this game is it's basically a game where humans aren't really in the world anymore and androids are like the thing, and things happen and emotions get played by stuff that happens between the character and other things. I really have no idea what goes on. But the gameplay is actually pretty interesting. That's about all. So I can't even give you a accurate on.
I couldn't give you an answer on best narrative only because I know so little of the other nominees in this category.
Yeah, for this category, I feel like Horizon is gonna win best narrative. Even though from what I hear about Hellblade, that's actually a really, really, really good game, and it tackles a lot of different things that you don't really see in video games.
I heard the only thing about Hellblade that was good was the narrative.
Yeah, like the narrative is the game, and that's like the thing. It's like you're going through, you're playing with a character with I believe she has schizophrenia. And it's like the way they have it, like it plays out in a way that makes you feel uncomfortable, that's supposed to relay the message, and you're like, oh man, that's crazy, that's wild. It kind of puts you into that thought process. So I assume it's really good, but I can't particularly say that it's you know, because I haven't played it myself.
Okay, there's nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
We also, I mean, we have a couple other categories. We have like best art direction. We have best music score. Best audio design.
I would love to touch down on best art direction.
Right. Which I mean, which of these? There's only two other. This one and another category I think is going to be a pretty interesting one. So best for art direction, you have Destiny 2, Cuphead, Legend of Zelda, Persona 5, and Horizon.
And that's strong. Now, I'll start off. Destiny 2, no. I'm sorry, Destiny 2, it's a good looking game, but no. Nothing about the art direction made me feel like it stood out. It just feels like whatever it is. The gunplay is probably still some of the best gunplay I've played in a video game ever, but art wise, no, that's automatically should be tossed in the trash. I feel like they just put that there, just put it. Horizon Zero Dawn is an absolutely gorgeous game. I can give it that. I will say that's a strong one because it's like a very realistic game for as fantasy as they've made it. Breath of the Wild, honestly, I feel like Breath of the Wild shouldn't really even be in this category. Like, the game was amazing. It looks great, but nothing about the art direction screamed, oh man, that's such a new take on something. That's such a good direction that they went. It's like, yeah, they did pick the right direction for the game. But if you were to ask me like, oh man, tell me about the beautiful landscapes or something like that, could not say it. I'd be like, oh, well, I mean, it looks good. It plays well. It's an amazing game. But I would never point out art as being the focus on it. Cuphead is probably the most unique out of all of the choices up here. And I will say that doing the whole 1940s cartoon look was a good idea for the type of game. It throws you off when you realize how hard it is, but we'll definitely say Cuphead deserves to be there. And then you have Persona 5, probably like the most stylish game that I think I've played as far as like the menu, the character outfits, the characters' way of moving, all of the stuff that they do to make this game just visually stick out, and they nailed it every time in Persona 5. Probably literally the most stylish game. So honestly, it's gonna be a toss-up between Horizon, Persona 5, and Cuphead. Because it's like, hey, you have cartoony, hey, you have realistic, and then hey, you have just super stylish all over the place. So it's like 3 art directions that are very strong. And I honestly, if either one of those 3 won, I can't be mad. I can't. So that's my take on that.
Right, and I would have to agree. Like I said, we have best score, music, best audio design, best ongoing game is something that I kind of want to touch on because I don't necessarily understand like what they mean by ongoing game.
Oh, ongoing game? They mean games that they're still adding like patches to. Basically the game is still technically going. Which Destiny 2, of course, they still have, the DLC pack. They need to keep that game. Right. Then they have Metal Gear Grand Theft Auto Online. Wow, yeah. Why did I get Metal Gear from?
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto Online, which they basically gave out, or they're continuously giving out like free packs. And the online is probably like the most thriving online community still. After this game has been out for years, switch systems, and it's still the most thriving online community. Like
it's what made them continue it's what made them seal the deal on if they were doing online in Red Dead 2 or not.
And it's so good as far as like them giving you content to the point where the actual game itself is still extremely high priced. It's still near $60.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Because you get so much extra value with the online.
Before we move on
okay,
to the next category, I just wanted to add my 2 cents in best art direction.
Oh,
and I'm hands down just going to say Persona 5. We had this discussion before we just started podcasting, and I was like, Persona 5 or Cuphead, and it's like I say Cuphead because Cuphead was unique. You know what I'm saying? 1930s. Cartoons, like when somebody says that, you're like, what is that? And then somebody pulls up Cuphead and you're like, bro, the throwback, even though you weren't nowhere near born in that time, but you still seen things that resembled it. Like, any of y'all remember Cool World? Anybody remember that movie? Like, that junk was just crazy. And I commend them all the way for taking that chance, for taking that opportunity to dive into something like that, and it was well received. It's great. It looks beautiful. It's, I love it. So, but I say Persona 5 because that game is just orgasmic. Like, the moment you turn that freaking game on, it's like it's mind blowing. You never would have thought a game could look that good, and the way they incorporate scene changes, dialogue, the battle system, item management, like the menu is just is crazy. It's as you hear me stammering, you just know that I'm in love with that whole ordeal, and I fell for it the moment I saw it, and I was like, this is my place in the world. So that's just my take on Persona 5. I hope it wins Best Art Design because it deserves it 100%. Yeah, we can move on to the next topic if you'd like, but I just wanted to add my 2 cents on that.
No, I absolutely understand.
Yeah.
I mean, just to finish up with the best ongoing game, honestly, it's gonna be between Grand Theft Auto Online and Overwatch, in my opinion. Maybe PUBG. Maybe PUBG.
I think I might say Overwatch.
Yeah, because it's like Overwatch is still like thriving. People are literally like freaking out when new characters come out.
Mm-hmm.
It's still there. Grand Theft Auto Online, it's like they've managed to keep this game alive for this long. But
yeah,
would I say, oh man, this is probably like the best game you can play online right now? Can't say that. But it does have a strong chance just because of how much content for free they give out and how much life it breathes back into the game every time. Destiny 2, not going to count that because we haven't even gotten to the first DLC pack to call it an ongoing game at this point. PUBG, I haven't played it myself, so honestly, I really don't have a big opinion about it. Honestly, I've never really seen gameplay for it, or at least I don't think I have. Rainbow Six Siege, I hear people playing it all the time, but I don't know. I
would also like to add that for best score in music, it's also Persona 5. I'm sorry. Anybody who believes differently can fight me. I don't care.
It wouldn't be Cuphead.
No, it wouldn't be Cuphead. Cuphead is I would say would be runner up, but I would only say it because I would only say Cuphead because it gives you that old timey feel. I wouldn't say it's the best score out of the whole thing. Like the music that you hear in Cuphead sounds amazing. The quality takes you back. It's good. It's good. I'm not down in it.
Nah, I say Mario Odyssey over Cuphead as far as sport.
You say Mario Odyssey over Cuphead?
Yeah, I do.
Why is that? Why is
music
that?
Score. You have to play Mario Odyssey to understand. For each stage, I'll still go into it, but you have to play it and you'll understand what I mean. But each stage has the perfect music. Each transition between the stages transitions the music very, very well. The sound effects of the creatures sound great. They're nostalgic and yet they're also new. And then the battle in the bosses, the music sounds great. Like I haven't heard any songs where I'm like, I really don't like the way this sounds. Like it's really, really good. And oh man, the one thing that I didn't expect to like, especially because when they first did it at, I think it was E3, when they played the little Mario Odyssey theme song that they had playing. When I got to the portion of the game where they played that part, brain just all over the place because it really, it nailed it. Like they nailed the song. Outside of itself, when I wasn't really interested into it, I was like, this doesn't even match what we should be seeing. Like this just seems so out of place. And then you play the game and you're like, oh my god, this is the right place to put it. It just encompassed itself extremely well inside of the game. Now, can I say, oh man, it was more iconic than Persona 5 score? No, because I'm sorry, Persona 5 has music that you get, hyped to. Persona 5 has music
you get hyped to. It's music that you get feels to. I mean, we just said like the same stuff.
It just fits. It fits so well.
But it's like the music in Persona 5 is just that is the type of music that, in my opinion, you never get tired of. Like I can listen to Persona 5 soundtrack forever, and it got you into any type of moment, any type of feeling that you were trying to get into. It got you there. If you knew that you were getting ready to go into that fight, boom, cue in the freaking "I'm about to go fuck this boss up" music. Like it perfect planning throughout the whole game. And it like I feel like Persona 5's soundtrack, you end up remembering most of the words to every song in there that has words. Like you just learn it all. It is just, man, you never seen it coming. So
I agree.
So yeah, that's me. That's Persona 5 all day. I'm there.
Now they also have best performance, which once again, like, I didn't play all of these, but from what I've been hearing, I feel like Hellblade might win.
Yeah.
Only because, like, the way they explain how the character goes into, like, her monologues and everything like that, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm feeling this game. I feel like Hellblade might win it, but I can't be 100% sure, as, like I said, I didn't play all the other games in this thing to feel like, yeah, that was perfect, but I don't know. But
just because I keep seeing this game come up, I'm gonna let you go back to that. But just because I keep seeing this game come up tonight, I'm probably gonna watch a playthrough on this game on Wolfenstein 2. I got to, because this is just in too many categories.
Oh yeah.
But go on to what you were saying.
But I mean, with the other performances of the characters, it's like I know these other characters or the people who play these characters, and I'm like, they're amazing people. So they have like Claudia Black and Laura Bailey playing as Chloe Fraser and Nadine Ross from Uncharted. Now, Laura Bailey is actually one of my favorite voice actors, and so is Claudia Black. So it's like, I feel like they deserve to be here, but because I didn't play Lost Legacy, which, oddly enough, I actually got that game for free on PlayStation. I don't know how they did it, but they gave me a free copy of it. It was just like, I went on the store and I was actually just checking the price on it, and they were like, oh, hit download. And I hit download, and they were like, yeah, you got the game for free. And I'm like, what? So at some point I'm going to play the game. I wasn't expecting to get it then, but I'm going to play it, and I'll actually have a better idea of it then. But I feel like they're going to be good choices. I'm not so sure about the Wolfenstein character, as, like I said, I haven't played through Wolfenstein 2 to know.
Yeah.
Now for Horizon, I haven't played long enough to feel. Huh?
Yeah. I was just about to say, Ashley Birch as Aloy wasn't bad either. Like she did great acting in that game. So.
And that's what I'm saying. I was like, it was good from what I played, but I can't say, I played long enough to really feel this character. I played a lot of the open world bits and stuff, just running around doing stuff. I didn't actually play through the main story because I didn't want to yet, because I wasn't actually completely sitting down and shooting through the story. So. All right, what else do we have? A couple other categories, but let's kind of move through. Best mobile game. That's interesting. Out of all the ones I see here, I would just say Fire Emblem Heroes. Then again, that's like the only one I played. Oh, best handheld. This is actually a good one. I don't know what Ever Oasis is, but I know what Monster Hunter Stories is. People love Monster Hunter. I'm sorry, I'm not really big on Monster Hunter, which is weird because I'm totally big on like Dark Souls and stuff like that. But but Samus Returns, I heard Metroid Samus Returns was extremely good, and Fire Emblem Echoes, I heard that was extremely good too. I just haven't picked that one up because I'm still beating the other two Fire Emblem games that I have. So. As soon as I beat those, I'll be picking that up. I don't even know what that is, so I can't even give you a anything. I don't play any VR or anything, so I'm not gonna even touch that.
Oh man, Cuphead! I'm looking through this list. Cuphead actually got some winners in here. I don't know. I'm actually going down. I can obviously it's winning best independent game.
Oh yeah. I can see that.
Yeah.
Best action game? I don't think so. Honestly, I feel like that's going to be a toss-up between Wolfenstein and Destiny 2. I hear Neo is good. but I don't hear
That's
enough
awesome.
about it to feel like it's gonna beat those two.
Yeah, it went in the dark. I don't hear anything about Neo anymore. I heard it was worth the buy, but
Action adventure. This is where I feel like Horizon Zero Dawn is gonna win. Either that or it's gonna be Uncharted Lost Legacy. One of the two. So I feel like Sony is gonna be the main ones for action in it.
I don't know, man. People's been raving about Assassin's Creed Origins.
Maybe. From what I've seen, it doesn't look as interesting, but I could just be literally still like after all these years
pissed off again about.
I'm not even pissed off at it. It's just like, it's Assassin's Creed. Role playing. See, this is where it becomes interesting because we have some excellent choices here, but my opinion is a little bit shifted because I've played every one of these except for Nier. Like, I played Nier, but I didn't play it. But I don't feel like Nier should probably be in here. Well, maybe not as top 5. Well, maybe. I feel like Nier is at 4th or 5th. 4th or 5th. Or maybe 3rd. 4th or 5th. I would go 4th or 5th. Because I played South Park, and it's extremely good.
Yeah, South Park deserves to be in here, but it's not winning.
It's not winning. But it's definitely...
No, I was going to...
You walk into it, you play it, you have fun, you get into it, and you get into some really cool stuff. Like, it works very well. Persona 5, you've already heard me. I'm sorry?
No, I was going to say, as far as role-playing games, I think if any of these is a really good contender, I would say Final Fantasy 15 and Persona, right?
No. See, 15, yeah, but not really, because I'm sorry, 15 fell short.
If they would have put 15 in action, in the action category, I would say Final Fantasy 15. It lacked role playing aspects. I mean, it didn't lack. I mean, they were there, but they didn't really matter that much. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
and then
yeah,
and then once again, like I said, you've heard me and you may rave about Persona 5 a lot. So we don't even really have to explain how well the characters are, how well or the choices of switching up your personas are, how well it is customizing the other characters in your group's persona skills to better match your own playstyle. Like, it's so much stuff you can do in Persona that makes it so great, and it just keeps going. Like, this game was like beautifully crafted art. But
yeah,
I don't feel like it should win Best Role Playing. The game I feel like it should win Best Role Playing Game is Divinity Original Sin 2.
Really?
Yes, because Divinity Original Sin 2 is one of those games where if you understood what classic role-playing and role-playing games are, Divinity Original Sin 2 encompasses that completely. Like, the combat is good. The skill trees and perks are amazing. You get to do whatever you want. You get a nice bit of world to explore. The characters are all interested in their own aspect. You can even make your own character. They even have a mode, a Game Master mode, where you can actually play with other people and they play as 4 different characters. And you just be the Game Master and you create the story that you want them to go into by dropping elements of things into the world, giving them certain things based off of what it is you guys are talking about, creating assets for the games to use in these role-playing situations. Like, it is actually beautifully crafted to be one of the games that the combat system works very, very well with the aspect of creating your own role-playing story with friends versus actually playing the story, which is also beautifully crafted to the point where it's like, oh man, I really like the story and I really want to keep going with the story. And it's so sad because it's only on PC right now, and so many people are missing out on a legitimate role-playing game, in my opinion.
Okay.
Like,
I mean, based off of that description, I mean, I would have to agree with you. I mean, if I was gonna be if I was gonna be biased, I mean, I obviously would say P5, but you know,
I mean, in the idea of bias alone. In the idea of bias, I would have probably said Persona 5 2 until I played this game, and I'm like, I can't say it and be serious to myself. And I already explained to you my love for Persona 5. But for best role-playing game, Divinity takes it. Like, here, the crown is yours.
All right, so I've been waiting on this one. I've really
best
fighting game.
Best fighting game. You already know what I'm gonna say, and I am highly biased. Highly biased that I'm gonna go ahead and say best fighting game, Tekken 7. Nidhogg 2.
Yeah.
Nidhogg 2 being on here, I can't say why they put it on here. Like, I understand how Nidhogg works, and it. I haven't played 2. I played 1. That's like,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say adding Nidhogg 2 to this would have been like when they added Dive Kick to the fighting game thing, and it's like Dive Kick was a great game, and the aspect of how it works, yeah, I could see why it would be a fighting game, but calling it the best, I feel like that's a hard stretch.
I think we can all agree though that Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is not taking it.
I can 100% say it's not taking it, but I only really want to say it's not taking it because of how badly received the game was. Honestly, what I feel like is going to happen is they're going to give it to Injustice 2, which I feel like is not the correct choice, personally. But Injustice 2 has way too many people liking this game. So I feel like Injustice 2 was going to win off of popularity alone.
Okay, so here's where I gotta disagree with you, because while Tekken 7 naturally out, because I was thinking Tekken 7 too, like fighting game, I would probably say Tekken. But I also had to think about, okay, well, when it comes down to the fighting aspects and just the mechanics they did in Injustice 2, both in competitively and in multiverse and legendary multiverse modes, I don't know. I will probably give it to Injustice. I would probably say it's kind of a 50-50 between Injustice 2 and Tekken 7. Because Tekken 7 did include a lot of great fight mechanics too to this 7th edition to the game. To the main game.
And you know what? I agree with you there. I can't argue that fact. The only thing that I would say is, and I can't even really say that because I understand how this is going to work based off of, once again, popularity. Injustice 2 is just more a popular game. That's why I feel like it's going to win in the long run, because the money's going to be pumped into this game enough to make it last. I don't know if Tekken 7 is going to last, because like every other Tekken game before it, people love it, and then they just stop playing after a minute. It happened with Tekken Tag 2, because everybody loved it for a while, and then they stopped. Tekken 7, it hasn't got to the point where people stop playing it, but it's also gotten to the point where people are not talking about it as much. Like, you hear people talking about Injustice a lot just because of the character reveals. And now you're hearing people talk about Tekken 7 because of character reveals. But you also have to remember, Tekken 7, when they say they're making a character, they're legitimately making a character. While Injustice 2, they already had these characters pretty much in the works. So it's like they're in the news a lot more often. While Tekken 7, when they show up in the news, they show up big. So it's like, So I'm sorry, Injustice 2 has a much better PR team to help it out in this category. But I will say, as far as content in the fighting game goes, Injustice 2 hands down, like double foot stomps every fighting game out right now. Like double foot.
Even
no type of
Street Fighter?
Even yes! Street Fighter has no content. Like, oh my god, Street Fighter is like the worst as far as like adding content. Like, they're just now getting to the point, and it hasn't even happened yet. It happens in January, I believe. Getting to adding things like an arcade mode. While Injustice is sitting over here with a whole self-rotating multiverse mode where you could just play. Like, you don't even have to play against people. you'd be completely okay playing multiverse and winning and doing certain things. Like,
because I'll be honest with you, that's what has kept me playing with Injustice 2. That multiverse mode is literally fire. Is the fire.
Yeah.
Like
So, or go ahead, finish.
No, I was just gonna say like the amount of things you can do in multiverse mode is unlike anything I've seen in any fighting
game. Okay. So I just want y'all to just scroll down to the next category, right? And just look at that lineup and just guess what I have a problem with.
Sonic Mania.
Why is that in that category?
Sonic Mania, I can tell you why it's in there. Sonic Mania is in there because
one of y'all better not say because you can play with Tails. I swear for God, if y'all say you can play with Tails.
I'm gonna tell you which one I instantly have a problem with once you're done.
No, I was gonna say Sonic Mania is there because it is instant nostalgia. Because all Sonic Mania is so what they did this year. They was like, okay, well, we're trying to bring Sonic back, but we're gonna give you 2 games. One of those games is gonna be absolute trash, but one of those games is gonna be the other game. But the other game is gonna be the Sonic game you want and deserve. Okay.
No, like I get that though, but when I think of family game, I think of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I don't think of Sonic Mania.
Well, isn't Sonic Mania the definition of a family game? Because I mean, by this time that Sonic Mania has come out, Sonic Mania would have reached 2.5 generations.
Sonic Mania is not the basis of a family game. I'm gonna tell you that right now. That was that game you played when you didn't want to go outside and make friends. Like, that ain't no family game. I mean, I guess because of the trial mode. Is it well, Crash, you would know. You have the game. Is it because of the trial modes that they have in the game?
The trial modes.
Is that why?
I'm sorry. What did you say?
I'm saying, is it in this category because of the trial modes that it has?
No, it's simply because it has a multiplayer aspect where you can sit down next to somebody.
Dude. And that's what I'm talking about.
Here's the thing, though. It's not a lot of games you could put into that category out that's family friendly. Think about it. If you look at the rest of the games on there, this is mostly all. No, I'm sorry. This is all Nintendo games. Sonic Mania is the only one that's on other systems that aren't Nintendo. Every other one, Nintendo game. So I want you to pay attention to that first. Sonic Mania is not the problem on this list. I'm going to tell you exactly what the problem on this list is. Splatoon 2. Splatoon 2 is the problem on this list, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. You cannot, without having another Switch, play with another person with Splatoon. Like, you can't do it. It doesn't work. So, unless you mean, hey, yeah, let's all buy a system and play it, which it would have to go into best multiplayer instead of best family game, in my opinion, Splatoon 2 is not the right choice here. Sonic Mania, at least they have enough multiplayer and trial mode aspects that you can play with other people next to you that works. Mario Odyssey, they have a family mode where one person can play as the hat and the other person can play as Mario.
Man,
Mario versus Rabbids.
Is...
Mario vs. Rabbids has a similar thing. And then Mario Kart 8. I mean, come on, that's a freaking classic.
Mm-hmm.
Which, honestly, I think Mario Kart 8 should win. But,
yes,
you know.
hands down.
So, I'm sorry.
Right.
Sonic Mania didn't mess with me at that, but Splatoon 2 did.
Best multiplayer.
Best multiplayer, out of these choices, I feel like it's either going to be Splatoon 2 or PUBG.
No, I think it's gonna be Fortnite.
Or Fortnite, yeah. It's gonna be Splatoon 2, PUBG, or Fortnite. I can't remember which one made the system, because I know one of them, I thought it was Fortnite made it similar to PUBG. But basically, they have two modes that are very, very similar in the game to the point where it came into like legal problems between the two. So, I don't know. As far as that goes, I don't know because I haven't played either one of these. But I know they're like highly, highly acclaimed games for multiplayer. And Splatoon 2 is also a highly acclaimed game for multiplayer as well. Call of Duty can get on out of there. And so can Destiny 2. No.
What would y'all say? And I guess this to kind of be like our final one. What would y'all say is the most anticipated game?
Marvel Spider-Man. Hands down. I'm sorry.
No.
Absolutely
Oh my
not.
God. What is wrong with you?
No, Marvel Spider-Man, man.
Absolutely. That's your most anticipated.
Part 2, sure, but I want to see Marvel Spider-Man, bro.
Yeah, like I said, that's yours. And that's a bias.
Yeah, absolutely because not. It's clearly Last of Us 2.
No. It's Red Dead Redemption 2.
No.
It's 100% Red Dead Redemption 2. People have been waiting for Red Dead Redemption since the last one. Like, people have been literally, like, losing their shit waiting over this game. There's no way that Red Dead Redemption 2 isn't going to be the most anticipated game.
Thing for Last of Us Part 2, though.
Yes,
so,
yes, but not as long. Not as long.
Well,
not as long.
Okay, well, I mean, if you're going to go off of that, then, I mean, Kingdom Hearts 3, you know?
I'm sorry, is Kingdom Hearts 3 up here? Wait. Are we talking about an existing game? Are we talking about an existing game? Because I don't know what this game is that you're talking about.
I was wondering why a game they said was coming out next year ain't in this list.
Wait, what
That's
game?
what I'm saying. Wait. It's just like if you don't say...
He said what? What game?
What game? I'm sorry. You guys are talking about a game that I've never heard of. What is Kingdom Hearts 3?
Yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3. That's what
I know what Kingdom Hearts 2.8 is. I've never heard of a Kingdom Hearts 3. Like, I think you're talking about games that don't exist.
Well, if Red Dead Redemption 2 made it on this list, then I mean, you know.
What do you mean if it made it on this list? They have trailers and everything for this game. They have actual understanding that this game is going to happen.
They said Final Fantasy VII was supposed to come out next year. Why that ain't on this list?
I actually believe the Final Fantasy VII more than the Kingdom Hearts 3. I'm just saying. It's been 12 years between 2 and 3. Or what was supposed to be 3. And counting. I'm sorry. It's like, at this point, I don't even believe in what I said, like, multiple years ago. And I keep saying this because I've been saying it forever. You may know what I'm talking about, and I think you do too, DC Black. Kingdom Hearts was supposed to come out in 2018. And I've been saying that since, like, 2009. And I at this point, I honestly don't even believe it myself that it's even going to come out next year.
I mean, I have to believe it because if we don't get Kingdom Hearts 3, bro, we're not getting Final Fantasy 7. So.
Yeah, and I don't see us getting either next year.
We're not getting 7 next year, bro. They're talking about so.
I like how this moved off of most anticipated game.
Because man, it's just a problem. It's a problem that it's not on this list. Anyway, even though when they showed us that trailer and said 2018, I've been said that I don't believe it's coming out in 2018 because we didn't get no actual date. We just got a year. You know what happens when we get a year? It gets pushed back. That's what happens when we get a year.
All that means is shut the fuck up and let us finish doing this for 2 years.
Exactly.
I think we're gonna get it 2018. I really do. I think we're gonna be late 2018, but I think we're gonna get it in 2018.
Back to my point. So So if we do get said game that's supposed to come out in 2018, it's not going to come out until the end of the year next year. Meaning, they said that they weren't going to show us anything else on Final Fantasy VII Remake until they dropped, like they released Kingdom Hearts 3. So we're not getting Final Fantasy VII next year. We're not getting that until probably either 2019, maybe even 2020.
I could see 2020 being the year of Final Fantasy VII. Right along with the first right along with some DLC, the Kingdom Hearts 3.
Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC while Ventus was asleep. It's like, I don't give a shit. Just tell me what the fuck. Just tell me what the fuck they about to. Well, I know what they're about to do, but damn, just give me the rest of the motherfucking story that I grew up with. God damn, I'm about to be fucking 30, and I still don't know what the fuck's going on, really.
What game are we talking about again?
The game that sapped my life away.
Right. With prequels, with like 5 prequels and a fake sequel.
Right, man. Dream Drop Distance was supposed to be the last game before fucking 3 came out. 2.8.
And lo and behold, we got 2.8.
Bitches.
And they tried to play you. They tried to play you like, yeah, you know, low key, you might want this game. But then when you realize how much the price was, you're like, bro, $60?
Bro, when they told me $60, I was like, what? 2 point who? Nah, bro. You mean I'm about to watch that shit on YouTube. That's what the fuck I'm about to do.
Right.
$60 just to find out what the fuck Aqua was doing. You better get the boy, you better.
But you know, so you know, we all had got our we all get our most anticipated, you know, votes in?
Red Dead Redemption 2.
Last of Us 2.
Hey man, I still want to see what motherfucking Spider-Man.
I still feel like Monster Hunter World is probably going to be more anticipated than Spider-Man. Yeah, I said it.
Yeah, I said it. I said what I said.
Like I said, I don't even really care for Monster Hunter like that, and I still feel like it's going to be more anticipated than Spider-Man. Yeah, granted, I really do want to play Spider-Man myself, but yeah. But I'm sorry, Red Dead Redemption 2. It's gonna be most anticipated. Last of Us 2 is going to give it a run for its money, but it's not gonna run fast.
No, I think what's gonna beat Red Dead Redemption 2 is that last trailer. That last trailer for Last of Us threw everybody off.
It threw everybody off, but
when they started it with Last of Us 2, it created intrigue.
We're probably going to get another trailer for Red Dead Redemption next month. So,
well, like I said, December. Last of Us 2, that trailer actually pissed a lot of people off. So you also have to remember
pissed me off. I mean, I was geeked, but to finally see something, but it pissed me off because it wasn't. I didn't care. I wasn't invested in those characters. I mean, I was like, damn, that's fucked up. But I don't know who the fuck you are, so why should I care?
But see, a lot of people were more upset because it's like all the violence in video games, yada yada yada. You know, that's one of those things that I still don't understand why people get so bugged out about it, because it's like, oh, but it's a game. But you know, games are art, and it's like people are arguing like weird aspects about it, which doesn't make sense to me because
online.
It's like, no, but see, that's not the thing. You don't see people breaking people's arms and stuff like that, and they're like, oh man, the character's getting their arms broken, and I'm like, well, you've seen this shit in a movie. Video games are basically just interactive movies.
You so must ain't played the last 2 Mortal Kombats because,
well, that's different because you also got to remember when you watch Mortal Kombat and you see stuff like that. One, it's Mortal Kombat. You know whatever's going to happen is going to be over the top. So when people got their arms broken, it didn't like legitimate look like a broken arm. It looked like, oh, comically broken arm. Like, oh, their arm perfectly snapped at the elbow. While in this trailer, you literally saw her freaking arm dip in and break.
Yep.
So it's like, you see that looks way too realistic versus you see a Mortal Kombat and it's like, oh, his arm twisted the other way. That's comic violence versus, oh man, that was kind of close to some real violence there. People got upset. And like I said before, you've seen movies where they've done the same thing. People didn't get upset with those movies. I don't think you should be getting upset with the games either. But, you know, video games.
It's like the argument could be made, well, my kids are playing this game. And then the other argument could be made, well, your kid shouldn't be playing this game.
Exactly. It's just like saying, oh, my kids could watch that movie. Well, your kids shouldn't be watching that movie. So what do you do when your kids are supposed to be watching a bad movie? You don't let them watch the movie. What do you do when your kids are supposed to be playing a bad game? You don't let them play the game. It's It's
game. The
like
game
that.
clearly says the age range that should be playing the
and
game.
If you are
under that age,
worried, and if you are that worried as a parent about your kid getting into things like that, in my opinion, you should definitely be more involved in your child's life in order to figure out what it is that they're playing, as far as that goes.
Exactly, I agree. But with that being said, do we have any more topics, or is that was that the last?
That was actually it. And I mean, if we want to still go through this list, I mean, the only other thing that I see is the best esports game, which I feel like is going to be Overwatch, but it may be League.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, and best indie game, which you already talked about it. I'm pretty sure me and you may were completely stuck on saying Cuphead's going to win that. But the other ones, I don't think anybody else knows. I know what Golf Story is, but I'm sorry, Cuphead is gonna hands down.
Cuphead takes it.
Right.
For free.
But yeah, this is good. This is definitely a great discussion. Like we hit on a lot of great topics. So just a little housekeeping. We got a couple things coming up for you guys. Like we're gonna be doing a review of Justice League.
Oh yeah. We're gonna do a review after seeing the new Justice League movie comes out Friday.
Tomorrow.
Well, Friday. It's officially Friday, but
midnight show.
Close into midnight.
Yeah. Right. But it's gonna be. We're definitely looking forward to letting you guys know how this movie was, and what were some things we like and we didn't like. Definitely gonna be hitting you with the comic book knowledge.
I'm positive that I'm probably gonna love Flash in the Justice League movie.
I thought I was gonna kind of hate him, but I don't know. I'm trying to go into it with an open.
I might even go to like Aquaman, even though I've been kind of on the fence about Aquaman.
Man, I know I'm going to love Aquaman. Oh my god! But I want to go into it with much open mind as possible. Not going into it with the DC hate and everything, like all their movies thus far sucked and this, that, and the third. I want to go into it with an open mind, fresh pair of eyes. So, with that being said, is there any more other announcements anybody wants to, tell the people?
As of right now, no. I'm pretty much, we're always looking to see easier ways to get this information out to you guys, keep you guys updated a lot more often. Of course, trying to keep up with life also slows down some things. So, I mean, as of right now, I don't have anything particularly in the works that I would want to fully disclose because I haven't, completely come up with how I'm going to do some of the stuff. But I'm going to do some of the stuff. The only thing I will say is definitely keep up with our Facebook page, which is, Facebook /SavePointPlus. And also keep up with our Twitch, which is also SavePointPlus.
Yes. Definitely keep up with those. We do also. I did want to just say this too. We do also would love for you guys when we do put things out, just to leave a comment. Let us know what you think. Even on our podcast, definitely build that conversation up. Tell us what you think. Give us your thoughts and insights into different topics. We also will be talking. There's something that is a personal. It's my personal baby. Dark Knight's Metal. We definitely gonna want to talk about that soon because I'm just gonna leave it at that. Dark Knight's Metal. It's the GOAT. It is truly the GOAT.
Okay, and the last thing I'll add is, of course, like in those comment sections, if you guys want a particular topic for us to go ahead and tackle and talk about, for sure, please go ahead and let us know what topics you might want us to cover in the future, and we'll definitely get around to it. So, yeah, you got anything, you may?
Persona 5's waifu is Makoto.
Okay, do you have anything of actual truth or value?
Truth or value? Oh man. That's a discussion for another time. As far as what you guys covered, no, I mean, everybody look forward to the Final Fantasy 15 Comrades review that we're probably going to do, and a little bit of streaming that we're going to do on it. So
yeah, for sure.
Look forward to that.
For sure.
Yes.
Other than that, that's about it.
That's all I got.
And that's all I got too. So definitely stay tuned. Please follow us on Facebook and like us on Facebook and follow and subscribe to our Twitch page and everything. Mm-hmm. And with that being said, I will see you guys later. Peace.